Divine Vendetta. So, Mitch, I have some thoughts for you here because I was looking over the last time these teams have played Nuke. They actually have played against each other back in May for the road to Rio, and it was a 16-14 in favor of Mazaalai, and then we had Mazaalai lose to D13 on it the day before, whereas Divine Vendetta, known as Cameras before, did beat them on it. So it's really kind of weird to try to potentially compare the results between the teams. But either way, we do see the first kill already going the way here at Mazaalai.
We do indeed. It's swinging in with a couple of kills. Mazaalai looking pretty good here on the attacking side. They've managed to pull it into a 4 versus 2. Some HP disadvantages, and this is was a little bit of an awkward fight for Zilkenberg, eventually going his way. Pokemon with a 1v2 knows where both players are, and they can just take this fight together. If they swing on him, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but Machine Gun took a risk going out against that pistol by himself. The trade wouldn't have been possible, but either way, they take it and put it 1-0 up to start us off on Nuke. That's a good sign for Mazaalai.
Yeah, I think it's a very good start, 100% for them. And the thing is, like, if you're Divine Vendetta, I feel like you almost have like the underdog status when it comes to this match. I mean, Mazaalai, they're already gonna be higher rated. I think they're well drilled as a team, though we can say from what we've seen today that it doesn't matter. Even if you're a Vici gaming, you're gonna have, I guess, holes within your own play style, whether it's smokes or something of other stature. Well, it looks like they're gonna go initially for some outside control here. Artek's got the AK in hand. He's gonna be leading the way through. No smokes to cover the cross, and it looks like they want to take some of these duels, but they're able to at least get him down in towards Secret first. And Sugu, I think he might have missed his jump, but he's just gonna push up with the USP, trying to save up, I guess, for his money. And he's gonna fall.
Yep, not the most favorable of fights, really. These pistols doing some damage eventually with Tyke grabbing one, but that should be the majority of the damage done. 2 kills, more than enough for the CT side. Tyke taken down eventually. And as Mazaalai look to just hold down, they've got time on their side for sure. That Mac 10 on outside, they can look to hunt it down, but really, it won't be the worst even if he does get dropped. The only problem is losing that armor. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Couldn't even land the nade he was looking for. And if I'm new as now, I just stop peeking. You definitely don't want to be dying and giving away a free weapon. Or giving away a little bit of cash and forcing yourself to reinvest.
Wait, is Davidov using a pistol or is he going for scout shots? I mean, either way, he's missed almost every single shot there, and that's going to be Artek to come in from behind to save his teammates' lives. So only him and Machine Gun surviving. However, they keep, I think, the only 2 AKs they invested in the round anyways, so they're not really losing too much in the end of things, though they're going to have to have quite a bit here in this round. But luckily for them, Divine Vendetta will be going for the save for the following round. So it's a good chance here, as we saw in the Tiger match early on against IG, to really pick up some steam, to really get something going for them. I think they were up like 6-2 at some point for Tiger, so if I'm not mistaken. Now Mazaalai have an opportunity to start to, progress towards that as well. Oh my god.
Just, this deals. Oh, what can you do? Look, Pokemon in with a second. A third? What's going on outside? When you're up against pistols, this is where you're supposed to own this part of the map. It belongs to you. But instead, Mazaalai are conceding control against their will, the bomb out in the open, and Zilkenberg doesn't want to waste his smoke to get it, but at this point, I think I'd probably use it up. You don't want to give Pokemon the opportunity for another head. Luckily, though, he misses the shot, so for now, Zilkenberg remains undead.
Just every shot that was going off, I was seeing the image in my head, like, what? Pokemon is evolving? Just over and over in that one. 3 kills when maybe should only have been able to pick up 1. You see Zilkenberg being very careful about this, and when they will tag each other up. But again, Pokemon surviving, and Zilkenberg left to himself. I almost would have said, just throw your AK out of the map and just play with the pistol. Like, because what's the realistic chance you're going to win a 1v5 right now? I mean, you do have the bomb. We only have 40 seconds left to go, and they're going to be watching everywhere.
The important thing as well, you see the CT side is rotated through outside. So now they have the control of those weapons that had been dropped earlier on. They can pick up another 2 as they rotate down. And I'd look to late take this on the side. Oh, they're quickly just rushing him down with the Deagles. Pokemon on a 4K with that. What is that? That's an absolutely insane round. Divine Vendetta coming through with, well, one hell of a Vendetta in that round. I think Blood be losing his mind.
Yeah, I honestly hope we have like a replay of Pokemon's point of view there for those kills, because that was just ridiculous. I mean, it's already hard enough to hit a deagle shot that range you said before. Like you go outside with the rifles because you should be able to win out in those fights. I guess Pokemon had a different story in mind. Saves the round for them, gets them a round they should never have really had a chance to win. And well, now look what Mazaalai have to buy up with. I mean, they do have the 3 AKs. They have a Galil and a Deagle. Utility, it's technically there. But this has to be a big boost for Divine Vendetta, especially if they win this round.
Well, this is definitely not one that Mazaalai can afford to lose. That embarrassment of the previous round. As Divine Vendetta get the opening there. Zilkenberg a little bit lost as he walked out the single door. Didn't seem to be aware that Havoc could be watching him. Odd that he was going out the squeaky door as well. Out the single door, rather. When the rest of his team hadn't even started to pressure ramp. Usually when you get a player down vent that early, he'll play in secret and try to harass them a little bit, help the outside players gain control, or look to cut the ramp rotates to the B side. Instead, that was a very solo play that they're punished heavily for.
Look at this, get aggressive. Tyke with the Mach 10. Fortunately, able to get around the corner in time, and Suga's gonna take down 2 players of Divine Vendetta. But again, Pokemon, like, yeah, this guy, he just does not die. He gets himself 3 kills and gives again a realistic chance here for Divine Vendetta to take this round. Havoc and Vidov will be coming in, both from the same position. I think they spotted Bartek out. However, he doesn't know that both players are from that angle, so he's gonna be checking quite a few different corners. They do both have kits. Utility as well, Incendiary to keep him out. He's gonna have to push through this one, and his health is already taken away. This could be just a really easy defuse if they stick it. And he should almost just go to look to save this AK, and he will fall. And Divine Vendetta, again, off the play of one man for Pokemon, do win another round.
Well, they just robbed both of those rounds, really. Pokemon's outside hole's been damn impressive. He does it with a Deagle, now with the M4 as well. They've got an AWP in play for Davidov, and I think, realistically, you would normally see that on outside. At this point, though, I just let Pokemon take it. He's been flawless there. But all jokes aside, Davidov hopping on outside as expected, takes the opening duel going into their favor. Wow, Definer looking damn good.
It's only a force-up round here for Mazaalai. It's not going to read too much into this round, but they're going to have to really, I guess, like, douse the flames of Pokemon's confidence, because he's been able to, you know, play at the Deagle, play in towards main. Obviously, a wall of smokes would be nice to transition in towards secret, but at the same time, you got to be very careful if Pokemon's going to keep playing outside. And obviously, we saw Davidov be the one to do it last time. He's able to get the initial kill, and Havoc's picking up the reins from Misty, able to get himself its quick 2-piece. Will eventually fall, but that should be Mazaalai cleaned up. So I'm actually interested, because I thought Misty was the opper for Divine Vendetta, so I assumed Havoc would pick it up coming into the team. Or maybe, like, when I was researching, I just got it wrong. I'm not sure if you know further details, or if Blair or Dinko are listening can, like, type it to me.
I think, well, if Blair's tuned in, I think he's the one to search after. At this point, Jason, 3-2 up, considering the context of how we got here as well. We really need to look to Mazaalai to win this round. They've already come out with a fast push, very disjointed, but eventually making it out of main to support the newest push that we'd already seen come through. Although I believe that at this point, I think the names might be swapped on the overlay. I think newest is actually Sogo and vice versa. We'll confirm that in a sec anyways, when the swap's back. Nice nade. Great damage done. Yeah, definitely. Nuez is swap with Sogo, so just keep that in mind. And the CTs just decide to save this one. They, understandably, considering they made no progress. Good nade damage done on the Nuez, Zilkenberg as well. But when you don't see anybody, I really respect Divine Vendetta, this is something that we saw in previous iterations of this lineup over towards Camel Riders, that they're a very smart team. They play the statistics game. And when you look at a situation where a 4v5 is in play, you've got maybe 20 seconds to get the kills and start the defuse, they know that it's just not going to happen. And committing all the resources they had towards it would just be reckless.
I mean, yeah, they were able to build up a little bit of an economy. You can see Davidov going to be on the 5100, Ezra's going to be on the 5800. Just trying to maintain like a stable economy, especially on a map like Nuke, right? Like it's pretty similar to Inferno in my head, at least early on, where that utility usage is so important on that CT side. Like having Molotovs early to prevent any sort of hut rush, potentially any sort of rush in towards vents. It's almost a necessity in every single round, because you can't afford to give up like too much aggressive positioning to the T side. Speaking of aggressive positioning, look at Davidov gonna be pushed up. He's outside red. You know, for the shot and miss it, but he just have some backup coming through. Gonna lose out one teammate. Unfortunately, can't quite connect the shots, but Pokemon's gonna be there, and well, that's a man I definitely would not want to push against as he rounds the corner. He will fall as Nuez gets the kill. It's still 3-on-2. Favorite Divine Vendetta. Mazaalai gonna retreat back in towards their own lobby.
Davidov on the flank. You don't usually see this from an AWPer. He eventually relents the aggression, happy with the information he's gained. Tyke pushing up forward. He might just catch a player off. There's actually a big gap for him to push through. We've just seen Machine Gun moving towards the T-spawn, I think to use up a little bit of utility. And as he comes back in, completely unaware, Tyke is tucked in a corner. That should be a kill. The timing doesn't work out for Tyke, though, as Havoc eventually spots one on the ramp. That's where the flank should start to come in. It hasn't just yet, though. Tyke not making a move. Either way, though, Havoc's able to shut them down and take down Nuez. Machine Gun to deal with here as well, but then the flank from Tyke is spotted. Fair play for actually paying attention to it, but 10 seconds left. They've got to move. Machine Gun grabs it. I felt like that was going to be Divine Vendetta's round, but it is this thing where, okay, Tyke pushes in through single door. Through Squeaky, excuse me. He gets all the way up towards the T side of it and then hides behind the wall, hoping that they'll move to Squeaky, but they don't. And when they go ramp and he doesn't peek out wide, which in some cases might get him killed, but in this one would have won them the round, he doesn't see the two players lined up perfectly, asking to be sprayed down.
Well, a little bit of a pause coming through. Just a little bit of a attack timeout. Davidov going to be back on the op as he invests into it. 7k spent for this round. Obviously has Ezra on 8k, Pokemon on 4700, but Tyke's the one I'm worried about. I'm not sure. Okay, so he actually was dropped over, so not too big of a deal. But also, you don't want to give up too many more rounds to the T side. I know you technically can't afford to. We've seen, you know, teams be able to bounce back from, you know, wonky CT sides, but I think it's more about putting a statement, you know, because Mazaalai should be seen as the favorites in this. Yeah, you might have come together as like a team for, you know, Pugs, but it's a chance for you to really start building up some steam, get some more points under your belt for the RMR. Mazaalai is technically above them by close to 200. Obviously, both teams would have some roster changes. So they lost out on a little bit of points here or there. But it amazes me that Mazaalai feels so confident to cross towards Secret without any smokes, especially when Davidov's going to have the AWP.
It's a brave play, that's for sure, but one that pays off here as they still have more utility to use to push into this bomb site. Good 1-for-1 trades. Tyke elsewhere manages to pull it back, but again, returned immediately. And this is a round where, again, if you look at the statistics, you'll say, oh, Divine Vendetta won the opening duel. That's great. But the problem is, in context, they won 2 out of 3, or 2 out of 5, I guess, of the opening fights. Being in now a 3 versus 2 situation, there's not a whole lot they can do. If that bomb does get planted down on the B bomb side, I think saving is going to be the call with the cash they've got in play. They just don't... Oh, that changes things. As soon as they kill Nuez, that completely changes the round. Now they can actually afford to go in for this. With Pokemon falling, it's not ideal, but Davidov surely knows the bomb planter now is behind that silo. He has to be on the site. The flash catches him. I don't know if he was spotted, though.
I don't think so. I mean, but Suga's already watched the angle, and obviously with the Molotov being thrown in, they're not going to know exactly where he's going to be, and he does get the shot off, but he still has to worry about Suga and has no idea exactly where he's going to be. Except maybe he does, because he's already looking towards that direction. Quickly looks a different way, though, and the bomb, I mean, he's technically planted in a position that he could defuse it, but he goes for the shot, and that should be the time he needs for the defuse, and I'm not sure how he clutches that out. Davidoff gets himself 3 kills, and more importantly, gets him the round.
That was absolutely nasty as well. By the looks of it, Sogo was either about to throw a nade. I didn't catch what utility he had, but it was either a frag or a molly. Had it have been a Molotov, that round was won as soon as it left his hands. But the shot connected before we could even find out what it was. Divine Vendetta tying it up 4-4. But remember, look, when you're talking about the T side here on Nuke, there's definitely a position where Mazaalai, if they keep on trading rounds back and forth, they'll be in a good spot. For used to be good on Nuke, way back in the day, you'd be delighted if you got... There was a stage, remember, where if you lost the pistol, you were basically crying already. Because the gun rounds were so hard to win. But not anymore. This new Nuke, it's been changed quite a bit since back in my day, is much more forgiving, but still, you don't want to give the T's more than 6 rounds, and already the foundations are built for Mazaalai to pull up to 6 if they just win this round now, as they'll force Divine Vendetta to an eco.
A little bit of spray coming through out of machine gun. Not going to find a single point of damage, however. Havoc could be waiting down towards the lower. Davidoff as well. Rotation as well coming out of Pokemon to really contain this hit, and you can already see they pretty much put everything down here to defend this site, really committing towards this lower side hold. Osugu could potentially change things up and go towards upper. Davidoff was just trailed directly on this angle. It's gonna be so hard for your machine gun to ever get around this corner. I mean, let's go for the jump. 40 seconds left. Mazaalai still don't have to commit down towards lower just yet, as they do have quite a few players upper. I think they've been able to sell the fake here. Bartek and Suga both able to get some kills, and just like that, it's going to be a 4-on-3, potentially a 4-on-2. However, Havoc gets the better of Zilkenberg. Now down to the 3 all from both these two teams. Look how passive Mazaalai are playing. This is going to be so difficult, I think, to fully stop them from getting back through to prevent the defuse from coming through.
Time's of the essence if they're really going to go for this. Oh no, the switcheroo. Machine gun embarrassing Havoc. With Pokemon falling, Davidoff is by himself and he's not having a good time. They're coming at him from absolutely every angle. Good shot. He's 1 HP though, not ready for the machine gun peek. He swings wide, but the bomb has taken him down before he can even fire the shot. That was beautiful though in the vents, Jason, wasn't it? Just on the left the whole time, swaps position. It's one of those things in a movie, I guess, where they tap them on the back first.
That's just, yeah, it's one of those, you're walking up behind someone, you tap them on the shoulder and move the other direction, so when they turn, you're not there. That's basically what that was, but just in Counter-Strike. But that's rough. But it was a good job. I mean, like, they delayed so much extra time just from that little bit of a play. Really prevented any sort of rotation to come through, especially up towards vents. And they're going to get very aggressive in towards ramp. However, Havoc with the 5-7 gets himself 3 kills. One of them through the smoke. Picks up an AK, and he stopped the rush directly off the bat.
One way to turn the round on its head immediately. And I think at this point, Jason, we can probably draw a pretty stern conclusion for what happens when Deagles come out. Thus far, it's been pretty one-sided towards Divine Vendetta. I think from this point forward, if I was their coach, if I was telling them what to do, it would be just don't buy rifles. Just stick with the Deagles all day long.
That's why I'm not a coach. IG? Do they have the same coach as IG?
Well, hell, if they did, maybe it'd be working a little bit better for them. I mean, look, it's still a 1v3. You can't count Zilkenberg completely out of it. He's got utility and the bomb. It's just the HP that deters me from having any form of confidence in this. There's a decent chance as well that Divine Vendetta trade out a little bit of the time that they've got to actually stop him or to get in and defuse it, to going out and finding some of these weapons. Really, for Zilkenberg, I'd like him to kill 2 players on this. He's trying to move towards the doors, but it's already being watched. And as he tries to deal with that player, Havoc from behind. Now, here's where Havoc should be defusing. whilst Davidov just bails to try and find a weapon. Wants to get an AK through to the next round. And what a solid performance.
I like how you said, well, if I was Zulkenberg. Oh, what was it? What was he said? I don't remember.
About Divine Vendetta?
They were talking about Zulkenberg and like how he should play it out. I don't remember. Let's just move past it. I forgot. I had a brain fart. 13 kills though for Havoc, 11 for Pokemon. Ezreal having a tough game though, only on 2 kills, and on the other side, Sugu up to 11. And we've seen some great individual play from both these two teams. I mean, even though Pokemon only has 11 kills, we saw the quad kill with the Deagle. That was able to open things up. Even a retake coming out of him, I think that was like a triple kill. And then Havoc, like that was like 3 kills for him, and we didn't really see. I mean, to be honest, I haven't really seen him like chain kills together, but I guess he's been being just consistent, not necessarily too flashy until that last round. Let's kept things equal at 5 apiece. Mazaalai going back for the force up here. Mac 10 for Nuez. We do have the op for Zulkenberg, but he hasn't had really an opportunity to use it so far on this T side.
We'll see what Zilk can do with it. He's holding for outside control to start, but Divine Vendetta with quite a passive approach. Here's Nuez, sees an opportunity. Pokemon was spraying in towards the single door, and that was his time to leap through and find a kill. Now on low HP, though, as well as Zulkenberg, but that might not matter. They've got the man advantages to work around. A 5 versus 3. 3 of those players, just one hit. They can be taken down so easily.
Have to be so careful about this. I mean, they have no more, or they have 1 more smoke left. The rest are just gonna be flashes, and you can see Ezreal, he wants to just peek around this corner. I think they know how low a couple of these players are gonna be, but he has to be so careful. He can't afford to fall here and give it into a 5-on-2. Machine Gun gonna lead the charge, and he doesn't take any damage. So they're looking to rush in towards main, and that's gonna be Tyke there, able to get 2 kills, but again, he will fall. Now Havoc alone against 3. A lot of low HP players. He hears the bomb being planted, but he can't really do much about it. Suga to peek around in towards side. He takes his head clean off now, looking for the last 2 players. Scenario going to come through to try to push the player on site off of it. He does get the kill on his Zulkenberg in towards main. He retreats back in towards the hut position and ring around the Rosie here to finally is able to spot him out. He cleans it up as well. Havoc up to 16 kills, and this man has just really gone off in these last 2 rounds.
What was it you said, Jason? He wasn't chaining kills together. He didn't even take 1 point of damage in the 1v3. My God.
I've been up since, 6 a.m., so I don't remember what I've said.
I'm with you on that, brother. 5 a.m. for me. I'm -1 your time zone. Can't play the pity game here, Jason.
Yeah, but you normally go to bed at 5, so it kind of worked out.
What? How would that work? That makes it worse.
Is it? I mean, would you rather sleep for an hour or just stay up the whole night?
Neither.
I mean, that is the correct choice technically, but it wasn't on the list of options.
I think outside the box.
We're seeing 6-5 though. Divine Vendetta able to take the lead back. Again, Havoc 16 kills. Like I think that's kind of what we've seen over the course of today for like Asian CS. Is it comes down to a lot of individual play. In the last series we can talk about Flight. We can obviously talk about quite a few players over the course of today, but we haven't really seen a lot of team play, and I'm wondering if that's something that will evolve like later on. Because we saw there, like Havoc, he cleans up by himself 1v3. Pokemon gets a quad kill with a Deagle in like round 3. Like it's been really just individual based, and even Havoc the round before got a triple kill with the 5-7.
Ooh, good little spray there. Ezreal was almost in trouble. The thing is, right, when you look at how the opening duels have gone, I was just taking a look, you're looking at 8 of them so far going in favor of Divine Vendetta. It's a pretty poor win rate overall, but again, we talked about this before, like the round down on B. When they rush in, you're looking at, yes, they win the opening duel, but when it's traded back within 1 second or 0.1 second of it coming through, it's not really a win. That's definitely a bad situation to play for. The Pistols have managed to make their way into Secret here at least. This is a nice position to play from. Tyke about to peek onto outside. Oh no, Ezreal realizes his mistake as the Pistols come around the corner close range. He's forced down to his USP on the lack of ammo and eventually dealt with. but at least they'd also dealt with the player outside. Tyke was in danger of getting caught off guard, but still clearing it. Evidently, the communication was good for Divine Vendetta, and with Sogo last alive in a 1v4, there were 3 players looking at him as he came up that vent, so not a great chance of him really surviving. 7-5, but here's where Mazaalai get the full buyout and can start fighting yet again for the 6 rounds that they desperately want.
I do worry if we potentially see like a 10-5 half. And I mean, obviously, you can see 10-5s on this map and you can still come back from it. But I've just not really seen anyone stand out on the Mazaalai side like we've seen now out of Havoc, out of Pokemon, even Davidov able to do some work. Like, we haven't really seen that individual brilliance so far out of them, and that does worry me, the Mongolians. I mean, Davidov, again, he pushes up aggressively. He doesn't get punished. No one on top of Twinkie. Or Silo or Marshmallow, whatever you want to call it. And there's no trade frag. And this was a buy-up round out of Mazaalai. This was their chance to get their 6 on the board.
This was their opportunity, one of the few remaining to them. You know, if they lose this round, they pretty much have 1 bye left, and at that point, they're looking at the bare minimum T side coming into the next, at a best case scenario. Oh, Sogo not quick enough. The off angle by Havoc. And the flash in to try and allow him to cross back over. They've got the bomb. The smoke is a little bit too shallow, though. That's going to allow Bartak to just pick up the bomb and bail out of there immediately. But nowhere to go, really, is there. Like, he maybe had a chance. When New is coming up through outside, they had 50 seconds on the clock. That's enough time for him to get through Secret and hopefully assist him, maybe coming up through the vents or even flanking Heaven. He's so many options open to him, but being shut down there pretty much seals the fate of the round. And Bartak might even be saving this AK by the looks of things.
It just seems like it's just a big stranglehold, you know, like wearing a shirt that's way too tight around your neck, or jeans that are, you know, a size or two too small. They just can't push outside. They can't push ramp. That we haven't really seen like a bombardment in towards upper just yet, but they're super limited in the amount of positions they can go towards. And I think we're kind of seeing that in their play. They're like hoping to maybe pick someone off. But at the moment, Divine Vendetta seem to really have that full control.
Most definitely. Control of the game at the moment is very much in the CT's hands. Divine Vendetta are in a position where Bartak not going to have a lot of cash, not going to have a lot of cash for the next. He's left on his 950 after saving the previous round. The rest of the team could invest here to come out in solidarity with him. But even considering what they're getting up, these Tech 9s had very little success. You remember the round where they had these? They came in and just got stomped out. I would prefer at this point if they took armor and maybe even like a P250 if they have the Kevlar alongside it, or the helmet alongside it, and play around that AK. Let Bartek try to find opening duels. If he doesn't, pick up the AK, try yourself. We'll see though. Anyways, again, down Secret before anybody can really have a say on the round, and they're trying to bait the rotates out. They caught a player off guard, but Ejram, excuse me, just too good.
Just trying to buy some time. See Havoc trying to come through. Pokemon just comes up the vents and says Squirtle and gets himself another kill. 9-5. I don't know why Squirtle. I was trying to think of a better Pokemon, but honestly, I'm too old for that. I think Havoc might have just actually fell off upper, but still, they get the round 9-5, and now 1 round away from having a fantastic first half score here on our initial map. And this, more importantly, is Mazaalai's map choice. Keep that in mind. Divine Vendetta, I've chosen Dust 2 as map 2, and if we get to a third map, it will be a Mirage. So to be able to kick things off and win on your opponent's map choice in this best of 3, especially on day 1, it has to set your sights high.
Now, being towards the middle of the pack, these two teams are both in a position where they can realistically end up towards the top of the leaderboard by the end of this tournament, but they've got to come out looking dominant. Sogu doing a lot of damage. Zilkenberg in with another. And although Tyke managed to find that kill, traded back immediately, this is looking good. Mazaalai set to find themselves at least that 6th round and still be in with a chance of closing this out when they move to the CT side. That's where Divine Vendetta could struggle a little bit. We knew this map was going to be close. But we look just about neck and neck on what we expect of teams coming into the second half, provided no insane retake comes through from Divine Vendetta. They're quite low on time at the moment. And as you can see, Pokemon's quite low on HP.
That's still going to be, though, 5 rounds in a row for Divine Vendetta on the CT side at the very end. Sogu able to clean out the last 2, but still 9-6. I mean, it's not a bad scoreline. It definitely could have been worse. Like, if you imagine, you know, pistol rounds won by Divine Vendetta, we could see like an 11-4 or something like that. But now I'm just curious, how can Mazaalai, or how can Divine Vendetta play out the T side here? Because they show them they can stop the attacking squad, but can they get their way into sites where Mazaalai was unsuccessful?
Well, it is a whole different beast when you swap over to the attacking side of Nuke, figuring out how things go. You look at, as you said, Mazaalai, had they not have won the pistol, they'd be in a pretty rough spot. So for Divine Vendetta, getting that pistol on the board will be really a dictator of how things go. The have funs are in chat as the players are ready to go. And Divine Vendetta, look for control up on top. Let's ignore all the movement from Havoc that's being brutally failed. I'm presuming, are we seeing a tech pause, or is this just a... No, okay, they're going to go for it. That was very odd body language by them, but eventually moving forward, Divine Vendetta blitzing over the smokes on outside and quickly closing in towards the ramp players who shouldn't expect them to be this close, and Sogu's definitely got a bit of a heart attack.
Machine gun? I mean, I'm not sure if he saw them going earlier on, or if he just didn't go for the shots or what, but just like that. Pokemon gets a double, Davidov gets 1, Tyke gets the last, and Divine Vendetta get 4 kills in honestly the matter of seconds. Get themselves the pistol round now. Havoc on 18 kills, Pokemon on 17. And only 1 player on the other side here for Mazaalai has breached the 10-point mark, and that is, I believe it was Sogu at 15. This is a tough game so far now for Mazaalai. I think it's going to get more difficult when we move on to Dust 2.
That was very clean coming through by Pokemon, who's just been a force to be reckoned with in this series so far. The buy for Mazaalai is also a little bit interesting. You get a Mag 7 in play for Machine Gun. Usually that's going to be used to hold up close on Hut, but he's going down through the vent to take the secret hold at this point. I suppose it also gives you the prospect of playing on the ladder. The accuracy isn't as poor as with a rifle.
I can literally hear Tom Biz's nipples getting hard thinking about this Mag 7. I mean, he's more about an XM man, but you give him a shotgun on Nuke and he's going to be excited.
And there's just so many angles to use it on, right? You've got close Hut, down in secret anywhere, or on the vent itself. As I said, you don't get punished as much with a shotgun for being on a ladder, because your accuracy is already questionable.
I was just hoping for a better skin with the
yeah, what is that?
The Mag Rust coat.
Disgusting.
Well, there we go. There's a first kill coming in. Seems like this force-up has worked out well for them again. Machine gun. Just taking heads, taking names, and now it's just Davidov by himself, and even Apon's going to be coming in for the next round. This was definitely not the second round that they were expecting, but to be fair, with what Pokemon did with the Deagle, I think they can understand losing a round like this.
At least they've lost to a close-range Mag 7 duel. That's a bit more forgivable. Nice headshot by Zilkenberg on the close-range Scout. A little bit less rare. A bit more rare. Excuse me, what?
You're not excused.
No. This is not a technical, though. This is a tactical from Divine Vendetta. And it's sort of understandable as well if you consider where their money's at. They've not got a lot of cash on 2 players. Double eco for Havoc and Pokemon. And, sorry, Davidov as well. So realistically, force buy is quite likely, and if you're investing that much in and probably, you know, on the loss of that, conceding another round, it does make sense that you take a minute to have a breather and figure out exactly how you want to approach it.
Well, I'm seeing some Tech 9s. I'm liking it. See 3 of them, a P250, a Deagle. I'm going to go for the force up here, even some head armor and a lot of utility behind this. Now the curiosity is now, where do they plan to hit with it? This Pokemon doesn't have the Deagle. Can we expect an inner push or maybe a vent push right off the bat? Again, early Molotov coming through towards Hut. They're going to run through it. Smoke does come down. Havoc, I think one of the first, actually she's not even one of the first players out. It's going to be Tyke who gets the first kill on a Bartek. The bomb going to be planted here in just a few seconds as well. And at least get the plant down. Except Tyke down to 2 HP. The drop comes in. Tyke gets himself another kill. He's still on low health, but Nua is able to clean up 2 kills. Now down to the Deagle and the P250. Machine Gun is actually being flanked from behind. If Machine Gun falls, it actually could be the round, and he will go down. Divine Vendetta, the force up might be looking good as we see Sogo able to push back in. Davidov, he's got the Deagle. He's got 2 players left to fight. At least the bomb's gonna be planted for him, but he has to get this first shot, and he can't quite connect. Still damage being done. And at least Divine Vendetta do get the bomb down.
The bomb defused in the end. Obviously, Mazaalai not going to give him a round for free. But for Divine Vendetta, like you said, at least they got that bomb planned. It's a little bit of extra money for the next buy round, or indeed for this one, as they obviously want to go in for Tech 9s and armor. And it's a little more forgivable for Divine Vendetta, considering the impact they managed to have in this round right here. In fact, that Molotov proved to be very important. That spray was wild from Nuez, and I don't know if he would have gotten away with it otherwise. When we hit 10 to 8, we move into the next round. You see the Tech 9s, the armor in play for most players. But again, Amali is what stops them dead in their tracks alongside the bullets from Bartek and Nuez. And Mazaalai coming away from this one pretty clean.
Yeah, not bad round at all for them. You know, getting 1 round closer to tying things up at 10 apiece. So Sogu, he's been a little bit quiet. I mean, I think he ended on 15 at the end of the first half. So I guess only 1 kill. Actually, was at 18. Never mind, I'm blind. 3 kills then, I guess, since then. But still a little bit quiet considering how he did perform in the first half. On the other side, though, Pokemon, Havoc, and being a little bit quiet. And obviously, we're in the early stages of our second half, so you can't judge them too harshly just yet. But we are seeing the pistols and armor yet again for them, so not really a full force up. They had the extra funds to spend, so maybe make it expensive here for Mazaalai and keep their economy in check. They do relatively safely get across in towards Secret. Oh. Timing, right? Take the nade out the second someone peeks you.
Well, Jason, the situation at the moment, the 10 to 9, the Deagle's in play. They make me scared. They make me worried. But evidently, I shouldn't be. Machine Gun's got it all on lockdown. A nice little double, the op shot for Zilkenberg, and a 4v2 all of a sudden where Divine Vendetta are not looking about as clean as they could be with the Deags. The opportunity there. I saw Sogo was blind to start to get flashbacks. But luckily, they did what they needed to do, Jason, really. They took Pokemon out at the start of the round. And once they did that, I knew it's all under control.
But also, I think the important thing is that they won 2 rounds back-to-back cleanly. I mean, I think they lost 1 player in the round prior, but they get some stabilization in their economy. So they can technically afford to lose like a round or 2 and still be relatively safe, you know? So a little bit of a net for them. On the other side, though, Divine Vendetta. I mean, you can't really depend on these individual players to open things up. You can't depend on Havoc, you know, to get a triple kill, or Pokemon to get a quad kill with the Deagle. And the picks that they were going for before out of Davidov haven't really been able to replicate until we see Pokemon catch out Machine Gun trying to get in towards Secret. Zuckerberg now going to be waiting with AWP, and looks like Pokemon won't continue to push in that direction. But now at the man advantage. This should be a round that Divine Vendetta can take, or at least have a very good chance of doing so. And I kind of like this. I was going to actually say I would want to see them push out towards outer a little bit more. Maybe use Heaven to their advantage, because we can see that not really Mazaalai using that position too well or too often. And Tyke might be the one to actually go for something like that.
The retake of RAM control is a little bit risky. And M4 going up first can easily just get domed out of it, but luckily things don't seem to be going that way. Divine Vendetta hadn't yet seized the control, although there he is, Tyke, waiting outside patiently for someone to make an appearance. He'd snuck all the way through outside, now looks for the site, but Bartek had too many angles to worry about, so Ezram gets it before a fight even emerges. And now, I think realistically, Mazaalai should be looking for the save. The shot from Zilkenberg. Not connecting, not fully. The wall saving Tyke's life. The nade up as well. He is in for a bit of punishment if he tries to get out as well. Now the op is scoped in. The problem for Zilgenberg is he can't hold the angle, right? Because he could be peeked from down below on either side. There's just too much of a risk. And with so much time left, the likelihood is they try to hunt him down and really punish him.
I mean, they have money, right? So it's not too big of a deal to fall here. If anything, you want to get as many kills as possible to force up those rebuys. So Divine Vendetta have a really tough time of stringing rounds together. But they only lose one player. Ezra's going to be the one to fall. They save the op. So Davidov going to be using that, I imagine. And now 11-10. Finally, Divine Vendetta able to get back on the board here after quite a few rounds. Yeah, not a bad start. I mean, we see that when Mazaalai get aggressive on the defense, like when Machine Gun went for the peek in towards Secret, they get kind of caught out. I mean, that wasn't the only big play that came out of Divine Vendetta there. Tyke getting the kill over towards Ramp, and obviously going up in towards Heaven to really apply pressure to the man in sight. I mean, he didn't get the kill. He wasn't even a part of the kill, but that pressure alone forced that player to change positions up, and then he got completely overwhelmed within the site. And now Zilkenberg, he's going to be the one to go towards Secret this time, maybe looking for that op duel.
Those two openings from Mazaalai are valuable, about as valuable as it gets. At this point, they can play a much more passive game, but what is that? Silkenberg, he even heard the smoke going down, must have known the players were close, and yet still goes out with a nade. Dropping it, the weapon not primed, not ready. The spray here from Nuez is risky. They've got a two-man advantage. They just need to go for this retake together. Make sure they can trade at any point. Havoc gets a kill for free. Ezram in the same position. One by one they challenge, and one by one they fall. Not a single trade from Mazaalai in this 5 versus 3, and it looks like it's not going to go their way. A 2v4 won out for Divine Vendetta in the end, and that's an absolute disgrace of a round for Mazaalai. My God.
I'm just hearing in my head right now, you know, or flashbacks to Deco and Bleh on Mirage of the 5-on-3 that Tigers managed to lose up against just the Pistols. But yeah, you can't afford to peak like that. And I think that's, again, going back to what I was saying in the last series, it's just sloppy play. You shouldn't really lose a 5-on-3 retake. Coming together, re-peak each other, or refrag each other's positions. I mean, but credit to Ezram, like he was at a tough angle, was able to take down player over towards Heisenberg, and then was able to turn around and watch a different angle. But 12-10, the money that Mazaalai did have built up is just gone. They have to go for the basically full save here. Bartek gonna have the P250 and Sogu gonna have the Deagle. But this is not what you want to see out of Mazaalai. Again, this is their map choice.
Like, Jason, you know, the thing you're saying about the map choice is 1,000,000% valid. If you're losing your map choice, and then, well, it's just 2 up next, right? And that's where Divine Vendetta want to take heads-up aim duels, and they're showing that they're definitely capable of it here. Even that Deagle round in round number 3 showed that 1,000,000%. Now, for Mazaalai, they're on the CT side. There's a bit of promise. This round, there's very little promise. It's anything that was there is pretty much broken at this point. But from 13-10, it is reasonable to expect Mazaalai to come back. They can do it on the counter-terror side, but it will come down to 1 round. If they lose the next, kiss them goodbye. Because then it's 15 for Divine Vendetta, and this is where they decide it. Their cash is good, but not good enough to afford an AWP, though. And that's you really don't want to be walking into a round like this with any disadvantages.
I think it's a really tough position to be in, too. I think Divine Vendetta are going to realize they're probably going to be hurting on utility, right? So we potentially could go for a rush, assuming they don't have any incendiaries, which, as we can see, they only have 1. You lose that round, and then again, money is just completely hurting for the follow-up round, where we could see Divine Vendetta get themselves up to map point. Flash is coming through. Machine Gun gets completely flashed up, as well as Bartek, and now they can't refrag off of each other. He somehow survived the back of this. He takes down the first, but eventually overwhelmed, and this should be a 14th on the board now. Nuez is going to fall. Sogu, the last alive against 4. I just saved the M4. You're not even going to hurt the economy of the other team either, and he's not even going to be able to do just that. 14-10 now.
And there it is, Jason. Did you hear it? In the distance, the cling of the hammer hitting the nail. The wood splintering as it entered the coffin.
No.
No, it was probably just in my imagination.
I don't know what's
Again,
happening outside of your place, but...
Trains are what are happening. I don't know if... well, you can't hear it because my TeamSpeak sensitivity is set perfectly, but I don't know about the stream.
I will argue about your sensitivity being set perfectly.
Let me type a message real quick. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe there was an occasional, like twice so far today, where the stream will have just heard just the horn of a train screaming. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but
it's better than having kids screaming out in the backyard for me.
True.
It's either, I don't know, it's German, so I don't know if they're angry or they're happy, to be honest.
It's very hard to tell.
Yeah.
I remember I spent a long time in Egypt, and remember our taxi driver was on the phone to his wife, and it sounded like he was having an argument. And we were all just sitting there awkwardly. It's like, oh, don't worry, I just told her I loved her. It's like, it sounded like he was screaming at her.
I guess he's just really passionate about his love.
Well, there you go. Don't you see the Penn Jillette thing where he's like, I love you, dog!
Sheen?
No!
Did he just die from a full molly?
Yeah, he was right side garage. I mean, I guess there was nowhere he could go safely. It must have been a god tier molly.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And then considering we're potentially going into map point here, you don't want to be the one going out first. Just the pistols left, a little bit of Kevlar here or there. I don't think Machine Gun had a kit. I didn't fully see it, to be honest. Again, another Molotov going to come through, and I think that's new. It's just going to be sitting inside of that smoke, so he's not spotted out at the moment. Might be a false sense of security for the side of Divine Vendetta. There we go. There's the first shot coming through. To rescue the weapon's going to be possible.
The trades back and forth we go. The pistols always seem to do a lot more damage in the initial stages of the rounds than I really expect. With that 2 AKs now in, well, 1 AK now in play. Sogu is the sole attacker that had armor left until, well, and a rifle until Bartak came down. They're spamming away, getting good damage done. Ezram should, oh, he didn't even fall. He had a little head peek angle, and I guess the player behind him distracted. That's 15-10, and realistically, I'm expecting this to go to 16. Mazaalai do get their buyout. They've got the ROP, but pulling it all the way back 5 rounds in a row, regardless of CT side advantage, just doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh. Wow, that is kind of a shame. There's like no fire on top of that, and he still fell. But, you know,
those things happen a lot, Jason, right? Where, like, you see a Molotov, you think you're safe, and no, it's like going through a wall, or like, well, like usually it's vertically, but it can be really annoying sometimes when there's no flames, and especially when it doesn't make a sound for you, and you only realize when you're like half health.
Yeah, I mean, I don't die in fire because I'm dead to usually bullets before there's even a Molotov thrown. But anyways, 15-10, and it's looking like Divine Vendetta want to wrap things up here. We can see Zilkenberg does have the op, but it just doesn't seem to matter. Kills are just coming through. Individual duels are just being won, and now utility being used to help give some extra room for them to take this site. And Zilkenberg is going to need to connect quite a few shots. That's the first as Pokemon does fall, but again, Havoc immediately gets one back, and it seems like they just can't get a break here. Zilkenberg pushing forward, well scoped in. I think that's going to do it here. Last kill comes through for Davidov, and that's going to be it. 16-10 in our first map of the series, but more importantly, Divine Vendetta winning on the map of their opponent's choosing. But honestly, they didn't really seem